guys, so today I'm doing a Q&A. So I asked you guys in my community center on my channel. If you just type in my channel name /community, it comes up. I just asked you guys to leave me some questions. So this is going to be mainly focused around getting started at the gym, being a beginner, maybe feeling uncomfortable. I looked through the questions and there's a bunch of good ones, so I'm going to try and answer the majority of them, give you guys as much information as possible. So if you have any extra questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. And if you want me to do like a more personal Q&A, a little more fun, a little less informational, give this a thumbs up so I know, or just let me know in the comments because you guys know I will literally tell you anything. So the first question is, do you plan out your food / diet in a day or eat intuitively? I kind of do a little bit of both. So here's how I eat. If you've seen my full day of eatings, I've probably mentioned this before. I eat the same meals every single day for like months on end until I get sick of them, and then I'll completely switch everything up and eat something completely different and just do the same thing for the next like 3 months. So I will plan out my meals for one day and I will track them. So I'll know exactly how many calories are in all of them, how many macros are in them, and I'll know for a fact that I'm hitting whatever calories I want to be at. Right now, I'm just maintaining. I'm not super focused on gaining weight or anything like that. Always a goal, but I've noticed that if I stress about it too much and I don't want to be tracking, that it actually makes it worse. So I'm just letting that be on the back burner, and I'm just focusing more so on my training and just kind of trying to clean up my diet a little bit. So I'll like track for that one day, and then after that I will literally just eyeball whatever it is that I've decided I'm gonna eat every day for the next couple of months. So yes, technically it is intuitively, but I did it with a plan in mind, so I definitely recommend that. I think tracking macros or tracking calories is great if you're not someone who gets too obsessive over stuff like that. I don't think it creates an unhealthy diet with food. I think that really comes down to your own mindset. I do think it is helpful. That's how I gained weight. Used to be like 108 pounds. Now I can chill around 133, 134 without doing anything. And the only way that I did that was by tracking macros, because I can't eat in a surplus unless I force myself to. And then they also asked about protein powder. So no, I do not drink protein powder because I get enough protein from my diet. I have about 80 grams of protein a day. I don't eat meat, but I do have eggs, and occasionally I'll have seafood. But I get so much protein from my diet, and I'm someone who doesn't need super high protein. I used to have like 130 grams a day when I first started out, and it was, at the time, it was actually good because I didn't have any muscle mass and it was super helpful. But now it's just too much and my digestion actually can't take it. So I lowered it, and I feel a lot better eating a lower protein diet. But if I am super low, maybe I'll have some. I can't have whey protein. I'm lactose intolerant. Whey has always kind of made me feel sick, and I didn't know why. It's the milk. So I do have 2 protein powders that I do enjoy that are vegan. It's the Kaio Smooth Protein. They have chocolate only right now, I believe. You can get it on Amazon. I'll link it down below. And then the Women's Best vegan protein in mocha latte, I think. Then I have a question from Ashley. She said, how do you make a workout plan for the week? So it's actually very simple. I know it seems super difficult because you're like, what exercises do I do? How long should my workout be? Like, I don't know. It's not that deep, I promise you. First, I would figure out whatever your goals are. So what muscle groups you want to grow like now. Like that's the one that you want to see progress from the soonest. Train that one the most frequently. So I would just do, I always recommend beginners to do an upper lower split. It gives your body enough time to recover a full rest day, and then you can just do the workout again. So if your goal is to grow your glutes, I trained glutes 3 times a week when I first started out. I mean, the exercises that I were doing, I literally can't. I have 2 glute guides if you guys want to check them out. I'm having new ones come out hopefully at the beginning of February. It's going to be brand new exercises, but the ones that I have now, they're still great. I just wanted to switch it up and give you guys something new to work with. But those exercises are wonderful, super easy for beginners, pretty straightforward. There's video clips for every single one, and you can track your progress on the Athlete app, so I recommend that. But training glutes, like, I usually say 3 to 4 times a week, and maybe doing like 4 or 5 exercises per that workout. I think a good rule of thumb is for each muscle group, do 4 to 5 exercises. I would just stick to training 2 muscle groups a day. So just start off little. Like, I wouldn't be doing more than 6 exercises per muscle group. It's just not necessary. And then when it comes down to doing like how much volume you're doing, which is sets times reps, stick to hypertrophy if your goal is building muscle, and then you can also throw in some like strength-based rep ranges. So hypertrophy is going to be anywhere from like 8 to 15, and then strength-based is going to be more so like, I usually say 3 to 8, 3 to 6, something like that. It's going to depend on you, and it's going to depend on the exercise. So if you're doing rows, you could easily make that more of a strength-based exercise, and you just want it to be like, I want to see how heavy I can go for as many reps as I can do. And when it comes to moving up in weight, because this is a question I get all the time, and it's hard to think back to like when I was a beginner, because these are like such simple concepts, but I completely understand because there's just so much stuff you have to think about when you're working out, and it's actually a lot simpler than you think, and it just comes down to trial and error. I always say if you can do more than 8 reps easily with the weight that you're doing, then go up in weight. I was using 5-pound dumbbells for bicep curls for like a year before I can move up in weight, so maybe I'm just weaker than the rest of the population, but I just think it's so funny when people ask, because I'm like, how are you even able to move up in weight right now? Like, it took me ages. We have a question from Liz, and she said, how many rest days do you think is optimal? I hate taking them, but I know it's good for recovery. I just go crazy when I'm resting. Yeah, so you have to have rest days. When I first started out, I hated taking rest days because I actually started enjoying the gym pretty quickly once I was like, oh my god, I kind of know what I'm doing. And I liked going. So I wanted to be there 24/7, and you can't be. I tried doing 6 days a week, which honestly, it's a lot, but it's not a lot as a beginner because I wasn't really lifting much weight. I was still doing a lot of body weight exercises, but I wasn't giving my body time to recover, and you're building muscle when you're recovering. So if you never give yourself time to recover, then you're constantly fatigued and you're not giving your body time to like actually do what it's supposed to be doing. Rest days really come down to how many days a week you decide you're working out. So the program that I'm following, it has me work out 4 times a week, which means my rest days are 3 times a week. There's 7 days in a week. So if you're gonna work out 4 to 5 times a week, then your rest day is going to be 2 to 3 times a week. So just think about how much you're going to work out depending on the type of split that you create, and then just place your rest days where you need them. If I squat on Mondays and I deadlift on Tuesdays, I have to take a rest day. If I don't, my body is completely fried, and that next workout, I'm just gonna be too tired because I've exhausted my upper and my lower body, and I have not given either ample amount of recovery time. So just think about it in the long run. If you don't take that recovery day, you're just going to be too sore and too fatigued to actually do your workout correctly, and you will most likely get injured. So I don't think there's a magic number of recovery days, but I think you should at least be taking 2. Someone asked me a pretty simple question. They said, I'm 5'5", 85 pounds, or 38.7 kilos, and I really want to gain weight. I feel I look sick. Story of my life. How did you find the courage to go to the gym? I've talked about this a couple times. I feel like I'm always talking about like how I got started at the gym, but I think it's because I have new people who watch me and they don't know. So when I first started going to the gym, I was a I would say sophomore. So it was sophomore year. I started going as soon as school started. So basically the beginning of September. And for the first couple months, I literally just did stuff on the mats. I did leg raises, ab exercises, push-ups, all body weight stuff. Wasn't doing anything. I would say for the first 3 months was doing absolutely nothing, did cardio, was wasting my time. So really, I didn't have an issue with going to the gym. That didn't scare me. It was really going into the free weight section that really scared me. So when I decided like, hey, I actually think I want to gain some weight and like build some muscle after seeing all these girls on Instagram, and I was like, wait, you lift weights and you look like that, how is that possible? I want that. So I didn't go to the free weight section until I actually came back from winter break that year. So I would go over to the free weight section and I would bring the weights that I wanted and I would just do them on the mats. Sometimes I would even face a wall so like no one could see my face while I was doing it. I remember struggling with 5-pound dumbbells trying to do bicep curls. I could only do 4 of them on each arm and I was sore for like the next 5 days. It was crazy, and now I can rep out like 25s. So it just goes to show like if you don't get started, you're never going to get to that point. You're never going to get stronger. You're never going to build muscle. So you have to find whatever motivation it is that makes you want to go to do that. And if you don't go and get the weights from the free weight section, then you're not going to be able to reach your goals. So you just kind of have to get over it. I'd put my earphones in. I would literally walk over with my head down and I would just grab them and like run back to the mats. And so the way that I built confidence was just knowing that I was doing it correctly. I would bring up a video on my phone. I would watch the videos. I would sometimes bring notes with me in my phone. I would have an entire workout planned out so that when I got there, I could try out the exercises. I would take screenshots of pages and put them in like my photos on my phone so that I could look at them and zoom in and look at the form. This was before like Instagram workout videos were like a huge thing, but nowadays you can save that into Instagram and then you can pull that up when you get there and literally do the whole workout. So I think that's great. But confidence is going to come down to just feeling like you know what you're doing, and the only way that you can feel like you know what you're doing is if you start doing it and you master it. And then we have a question from Manti. She said, I'm a beginner and I want to ask how you got the courage to lift heavier, do bigger movements. Honestly, I was getting bored. Like, bodybuilding is boring and you don't feel empowered, in my personal opinion, doing bodybuilding movements because you can only go so heavy on certain things. Like my strength for the lat pull down, it doesn't just like exponentially grow all the time. Whereas for squats, bench, deadlifts, RDLs, pull-ups, that strength is building every single time you go to the gym. So I just changed my goals. I was like, I want to squat. I'm kind of scared too, but I want to. So I had my brother teach me how to squat. And then I went to my university gym and you have to use the squat rack, which always scared me because I didn't have a friend with me. I was just there by myself. So I would work in with guys at the squat rack and became friends with a lot of them, and they were always helping me and they'd help me with form. They'd spot me, not in a weird way. And they were just so nice. So I think that actually getting over into that area makes you a lot more confident and a lot more comfortable. It depends on your gym. Like I went to a university gym, so I think I only had like 2 or 3 weird experiences with people coming up to me and just like being creepy. Because like we're all the same age, and I feel like most of the creeps that I dealt with were at the YMCA and they were like dads, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. This is weird. Where's your wife and your kids? It was just odd. So just slowly becoming comfortable in what I was doing and then being like, hey, I want to do something more. So I know that's not like a very good answer, but it's not something that there's nothing I can tell you specifically to do. Like, it just comes down to you deciding that you want to do it and just doing it. So I'm sorry that these answers are not super helpful. My apologies. If you have any more questions or I didn't answer it properly, just leave it in the comments again. I don't know. That was the last question. I love you guys. Check out my guides if you'd like to, and I'll see you in my next video.